Which were you more proud of, 8 sacks or -8 rushing yards?
I tell you that the 8 sacks was good because of the fact that, you know, we've won it, and we've talked quite a bit about our defensive front being dominant in games, and those guys, they played really hard, and some of those sacks were just outright effort. You know, so I was proud of both, but more proud of the play of the defensive front.
So last week you described Mason Gentry as a rusty old pickup. Then comes back, 2 sacks this week. What kind of car is he now?
That's why you get Armor All, is that what it's called? You get you some good wax, and he's shiny now, right? He's shiny. But he played really well. Not only on the plays where he got the sacks, but he practiced well throughout the week. And you know, you can always use guys like that as an example of, you know, you're out, you're disappointed, but now you get back healthy and you jump back in and go like nothing happened. So just like I said before we played, we're excited to have him back, and we were fortunate, he was fortunate to be able to go in and make plays when he did at crucial times in the game.
Justin Lawler is now second in the country in sacks.
Yeah.
Where have you seen the most growth for him as a senior?
He's just been a solid, consistent guy who has done what we've talked about all along. Just get a little bit better every day. You know, a little bit better every day. And no one works harder than he does off the field. No one studies more and spends time in the coaches' offices like he does. And so it's a pleasure to see him go out and perform, because again, he's an example. You know, when you want to talk to players about more playing time, when you want to talk to players about having success on the field, all you have to do is point them towards the things that he's done.
How valuable is that, having a senior with that work ethic?
But it's invaluable, because, like I said, you have guys like Ken McLaren in his room who look at, I mean, they're sponges, and they're watching. But when you have a guy who works and who continues to receive pay for his work, continues to perform on game day, then it's easy. It's easy to talk about work ethic and to talk about making sure that you're doing all those things off the field, because they pay off. The culture pays off. Justin Lawler is the finest example of that.
In the weeks leading up to the Connecticut game, both Eric Sutton and Christian Davis got dinged a little bit. How are they feeling now, and how much of the performance against Connecticut was a result of maybe being nagging injury?
Well, I'll never let them say that nagging injuries were a part of their performance, because nobody cares about nagging injuries. They just care that when you walk out on the field, you perform. And they may try to use that as an excuse, but that's you know, when you go out on the football, when you lace your uniform up, you go out, the team is expecting you to perform at the highest level. But I do understand those guys have had injuries. You know, I'll tell you that in secret. But you know, nobody cares about nagging injuries. They only care about performance, and this is a performance-based operation. So you know, those guys, they have to be better. They have to get better from a physical standpoint, and understand that, you know, bottom line is you got to make the tackle. Bottom line is you got to knock that ball down. You have to maintain inside leverage, and if physically you can't do that, then there has to be honest communication, and our training staff, they do a great job of taking care of our players physically, but when you step out onto the field, the trainers are over on the sideline, and you know, our players understand that, so they'll get better for the plays that they didn't perform at the standard. They'll get better. They have no choice. We've come in here, and we've had some days where it was really bad, you know, and we lost the game. It was not to the standard, and we won the game. I think Coach Craddock just said it a minute ago. You played to win the game. We won the game, but there's definitely some things we can work on. It's not lollipops and ice cream cones just because you won the game. There's some work that we have to do defensively, and specifically in the secondary, there's some work that we have to do. And we always self-evaluate, and our guys, as coaches I'm talking, and our guys do as well. So when Christian Davis and Pierre, they don't perform the way they do, it's on me. And so we'll get them to the level they need to be at.
Did it help at all to have Jordan Wyatt running around the sideline, like acting like another coach almost?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Because I needed him to be in the game. But physically, he was not in that place. And we are, in hopes that he can get himself to that place. But he teased me the whole time, because every time I looked at him, I wanted him to go in and get some shoulder pads on, but he wasn't able to do that. So, but honestly, you have Christian Davis, you have Eric, you have Justin. These guys are young players in the system, and it is very difficult, and I've talked about it before here, it is very difficult to watch. But we watched Jordan Wyatt. We watched Jordan Wyatt grow. We watched him as he was a budding superstar, and it didn't look pretty. And now, he's up for the Heisman. He's a Super Bowl champion or something around here now. But we watched him grow, and he's growing every day. He's committed to that. But there were some rough times with him, and there'll be with some of these other guys. We'll continue to push them to be all that they can be. We're not there yet.
Given his mathematical and statistical background, is Coach Morris's approach to the game different than any other coaches you've worked with?
No, he loves numbers, like he said, and those numbers, I think he does a good job when they're in your favor. He celebrates that, and when they're not, he lets you know as well. So this is about honest and fair assessment. And I've looked at the numbers, and I am not a numbers guy, but I look at them as well. But I have to bring myself back, because when we were not winning games, I was looking at the numbers and I was trying to give myself relief. But the number that matters, like Coach Craddock said, is how many games did you win and how many games did you lose? That's the most important number. The rest of them, they contribute to it, and they can show you a pathway, but the key stat is winning and losing, and that's most important. So along the way, some of those stats, like Coach said and like we believe, they help you to win, or they can contribute to you losing, so you have to pay attention to them. But at the end of the day, you got to make plays to win the game, or you can make plays that allow you to lose the game.
Some coaches will say that if a safety is your leading tackler, then it's an indictment of the guys in front of him. And Mikhail Onu, if I'm not mistaken, has either led or tied for the lead in tackles in 4 of your 5 games. Is he playing that well? How would you evaluate his performance so far through 5 games?
The scheme puts him in position to make the tackle. The offense is not going to block them all. They're going to leave one guy unblocked. And the system has set it up so that Mikhail, you're that guy. And most defensive systems kind of set it in that way. And that guy has an opportunity to make the tackle or miss the tackle. And he has done a great job of, when those opportunities have come, he's made the tackle, he's made the play. The key is because the safety, like I said, he's most of the time the unblocked player, but where is he entering into the play? Is he entering into the play 8-10 yards down the field? Well, you got problems. But he is entering into the play very early and for minimal yardage, and he's been able to make the tackle, make the play. So we're pleased with that. He's exactly where the scheme allows him to be, and he's making the plays, he's making the tackles. So, you know, everybody else has a blocker on him, and we say this to the rest of the defensive guys. If you want to catch Mikael, you have to beat your blocker and get on the ball. And we've done that at times, and that's when we've had tackles for loss. But the scheme sets Mikael to be all that he has been, and he's come through for us.
Anything else for Coach Malone?
Coach Morris talked about how this is a very physical receiver group that you're going up against this week. How do you simulate that and prepare your secondary for that kind of physical battle?
Well, from day one is the discussion of the way that they play from a physical standpoint. And, you know, we look for our guys to play just as physical. And Coach Lepp does a great job with the safeties of starting from that point. You know, that we want to be physically dominant in the secondary. And his safeties do a good job of that. We talk about Mikael O'Neal. And so what I am going to do from my guy's standpoint, the cornerbacks, they're the edge of the defense. Houston's offense is an edge attacking offense with the screens and such. So we have to do a great job in the secondary, but then from the linebacker core of getting hands on the receivers. So that'll be a big focus for us on defense, but that's the way they play. And if we don't bring that part of the game, then it'll be a difficult one for us on defense.
Coach Morris was saying that you all expect both quarterbacks to play. How are they different from each other, and what kind of challenges do they present for your defense?
Well, one, honestly, they're not very far from each other. When you look at them, they both have the ability to throw the ball. They can throw it down the field, especially for sure in the screen game. They both do a good job in the screen game. They make pretty good decisions. They take care of the ball. But one is probably a little bit better runner, but they both have shown on video to be able to run the ball well enough to present a problem for a defense. So, you know, we're going to be prepared for both because they both have played and they both have done a good job for them. So, you know, at the end of the day for us defensively, it's more about us, no matter who plays, it's more about us being where we need to be from a alignment standpoint and from a communication standpoint, and then being alert for the quarterback run game because both of those guys have shown the ability to be able to run the football.